Lost a lot of blood today, ladies and gentlemen. Not good, is it? Oh my god, have you called the police? Where the fuck is it? No, it was a medically induced loss of blood. I'm sure you'll be all happy to know because I went to the hospital today. hmm You might have seen my video a few months ago with my testosterone results. What a shock. What a shock that was. So I had to go today because they were running some tests. One of the hormones that I got back from those results was super high. So they wanted to see, hey, listen, is it going high because you're stressed and you've got anxiety like a 12-year-old girl? Or do you have a tumor on your brain? And they're quite crazy opposites, ladies and gentlemen. I'm either a 13-year-old girl or I've got a tumor on my brain. I don't know which one I want more. Well, I would go for the anxiety one. And I never really thought about it. I always say, hey, I hate needles and stuff. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I've actually grown quite accustomed to a lot of my fears because I used to have another one that was throwing up and vomiting. When I was a kid, I hated it. You know, when you're throwing up and you're like, it keeps coming up and you can't breathe. That's what I used to hate. You know, I'd be like, so yeah, throwing up I used to hate. But when I started drinking, I got so good at throwing up because I got so good at drinking. And that's one of the side effects of drinking is the throwing up that people don't tell you. So every night, not every night, every weekend, without fail, I would come back and I would plaster something with vomit. But when I went there, yeah, today, the hospital, the big H, I kind of like the hospital. It's got a real playful energy about it. And, you know, people are usually surviving or getting better or dying. A few people are dying, but most people are getting better. Okay. So, you know, I just walk around, I just talk to people. Everyone's in such a cheery mood, I think, because, you know, they think, all right, this kid is got a smile on his face. He's coming to his end of life treatment. Let me tell him where the stairs are and be nice. So I was like talking to girls there. I was like, yo, where are the stairs? And they were like, over here, come over here, you big weirdo. And I was like, oh, I want to get something to drink. Why would I get some? Where's a nice place to eat out here? Um, but anyone can walk into the hospital. I don't think people realize that. It's kind of like off limits in a lot of people's heads. But you can, if you want tomorrow, experience what I did today. Just walk in. No one will stop you. There's no sort of ID, bodyguards, you know, hey, listen, you look too young, get out of here, son. None of that. You can really just walk in with friends or on your ones and experience the beauty. But my secondary school used to look like a bit of a hospital. It was like an old, kind of looked like a Roman court with the big pillars. And we'd get cripples all the time at lunch, wandering through the premises, looking for toilets, and the head teacher would have to come down with a double barrel shotgun and put them out the misery. But it was that was just how it was back in the day, and that was 7 years ago. Things are a bit different now. I walked past my old secondary school today, and they looked like they had armed guards in towers all around the perimeter. But walking around the hospital, the most people there are old, and they all dress up so nice. They're all wearing their Sunday best to the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. I just came in some joggers and a little t-shirt. These people have got suits on, you know, button-up shirts. The ladies have got summer dresses on. I don't know if they're planning on dying with their visit, or you know, if it's the only time they get out of the house. But I really respect it. Next time I go to the hospital, I think I might wear a dress. Look at that transition. Look at that. So we can see this. Let me whack this into full screen. So let's watch this clip, right? So he's on an interview talk show, and this guy basically has the cheapest airline in Europe for many people. When I've ever been at the airport and you see people queuing up for Ryanair, you think, what's gone wrong in your life?
Did you really want to charge to use toilets on Ryanair planes? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes,
but not because I want the money. We'll give the money away to charity. I want to get rid of,
No, you won't.
we have 3 toilets. If I can get rid of the 2 toilets at the back of the planes, I can add 6 extra seats. With 6 extra seats, I can lower everybody's airfare by another 5%.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy, and I really like this guy. Was it true you were going to solve the homeless crisis? Michael, that is true. We actually had a little plan for the homeless. I was going to say tickets are free, right? Like a little honeypot scenario. And we're going to take all the homeless people, right? Fill the cabin with poisonous gas, right? And throw them out on the Atlantic. No more homeless people. And this was going to be an incentive from the government. We were going to get paid millions of pounds per ticket.
All year round.
Did you want to make some passengers stand on planes to fit more people in, a la the tube?
Yes.
How safe is that?
Very safe. Funny enough, what we wanted to do was to take out about the last 10 rows of seats. But wait for it. You take out the last 10 rows of seats, and we guarantee that and we'd have a standing cabin and a seated cabin. The seats would be 25 euros. The standing cabin would be €1. I guarantee you we will fill the standing cabin first.
And to people who say, that sounds a little risky?
You know, he wants to just say there, you die regardless.
I actually think kids, I mean, I did it when I was interrailing across Europe. I stand on trains, slept on trains, stand on buses. You stand on the underground in London.
Yeah, they're just not in the sky.
You know, he's got some wacky, crazy, cool ideas. And he was so comfortable naming the good ones. I wonder what the bad ones were.
People who say...
The people in the boardroom that are coming up with these ideas, I mean, they must have got these scientists from Nazi Germany when it fell in 1945. You know, all the Russians and the Americans fighting for him, and then Ryanair swoops in and, you know, grabs the most monstrous personnel that the Nazi occupation had conjured up. But I would love this job, by the way. I don't want to say, and I don't want to put this man off of me, but this is kind of a job application as well, you know. I would love to try and squeeze as many humans onto a aeroplane as possible. That sounds so fun. You know, you wanted to put kids in bags, Michael. You know, that was a little bit true. You know, we were actually gonna actually lay all the kids down, and we're not gonna charge them for a ticket. We're gonna say, kids, fly free, but we're gonna lay you all down on the floor, and we're gonna put you all in a bag, and we're gonna vacuum pack it. Yeah, we'll take all the air out, right? But you can still breathe, right? And I thought this was genius, right? We were gonna put them in the fuel tank. What a crazy idea, right? Have all the children in the fuel tank, and then the parents get to meet up with them after the flight, right? But health and safety, you know, there's no group of people that turn on other people quicker than poor people. That might come as a shock to say that out loud, but let's just really think about it. I mean, poor people have got poor conditions, all right? No money, struggling for food, all right? Addiction. These people are angry, and if they get to blame somebody, you know, a la immigrante, a la the immigrant, yeah, they'll do it. And can you imagine a more hateful scenario than an airline that had a seated and a standing poor section? Because that's what economy is. It is for poor people, and I'm an economy guy. All right. It's for poor people. Can you imagine the people that are seated? You know, I can almost imagine them exactly the conversations they're having. You know, I close my eyes and I think, you know, they look at each other. They get on first before the standing section, and they go, "Can you believe those? Can you believe those freaks? Look at them all with their fucking big legs." As they're walking past, you know, look at them carrying. Look at them. That one's even got a bag. How's he afforded that? And there's only 25 quid between the tickets, but they will look at the people that are standing, and you know, they will be quite happy to not feed them and throw them out. Oh, when are we gonna chuck them out the fucking window? Yeah, when are we gonna throw these freaks off the plane? They stink, don't they? Oh, they smell. Christ alive, they smell of shit. What they feeding those pigs back there? Yeah, I don't know why everyone's in an Irish accent, all right? But this guy's in an Irish accent. Aren't you, Michael? Right, what do I want to talk about next, ladies and gentlemen? We're having a good time here, aren't we? One person in Twitch, I don't even think that's a real person. Show yourself. But you're probably not even there, all right? So I'm just going to carry on talking as if this is full up and we're all having a good time. When in reality, I'm here on my own like some freak. I want to talk about the pet cemetery because I went to somebody's house earlier this week who lived in a bungalow on a bit of land next to his business. What do you think his business was? Well, his business was the cremation of pets. And it must have been eating his soul because the guy looked like he wanted to kill himself as soon as I left. And, he wasn't very talkative and he just had the aura like of somebody that shoveled, cat ashes out of a furnace all day. Just wandering around, I got the same vibes as I did when I was walking around Auschwitz. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever been there, but do I need to say what it is? All right. Genocide, World War II. Google it. But when I went there, it was very somber, and one of my mates started crying. I didn't cry. I wanted to wear my England football top there, but all my friends said that they wouldn't associate me while we were walking around if I did that. So I wore a suit and tie and kept things so formal that people thought that I was a ghost. His record for the amount of pets that he'd burnt in a day was 10. And he went, "Yeah, probably about 10. Long day." And he went Irish, but let's fuck it. Probably about fucking 10, mate. Long day. How about that, yeah? We're not just being racist to Irish people today. Okay. Well, it is understandable he was sad and he wasn't very talkative, man, because it must be hard melting pets all day. And I found out as well, he was doing all sorts because people, the most popular are cats and dogs. And then you've got sort of exotic stuff, snakes. And then we got onto turtles. And, the shell goes as well, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that thing would be, stuck there for eternity. But no, even the shell gets added to the ashes. This guy had a hard life. And what possesses you to start your own business doing this, whether or not he had a knack for it at a young age? And I used to kill a lot of bees. I didn't want to be a beekeeper. Okay. I don't know if this guy was putting cats under buckets on warm days and thought, ooh, shit. Shit, if I threw this on a bonfire, I could charge someone 50 quid for this pleasure. Sound like his soul was a little bit drained. And I'm sure that people that cremate humans are a lot nicer and a lot better off because, they do mostly old people. No one really likes old people or feels sorry for them. So people that are bringing in dogs and stuff are like crying. Oh, I loved him. Oh, God. Oh, like kids are like holding on to him like, Daddy. No one's doing that with old people. I'm sorry to say it out loud, but old people kind of last a little bit too long, I think. I could understand that people love pets, but wanting the ashes of your pet is something so terrifying to me that I don't know if it's a normal thing. If I went around to a girl's house and she had an urn, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, someone in your family passed away recently," and she went, "Nah, nah, that's my ferret." Excuse me. Sorry, have you got any other ashes that I need to know about? Or I fucking trip up on your pet fucking lizard. We had pets and stuff growing up. I got all that out of my system, and we had a shared rabbit, me and my sister. And when that died, my dad went and buried it up at my nana and granddad's in the garden, and they didn't really have much soil. It was more like flower beds. So he fucking fucked this rabbit. It must have been about 6 inches into the ground, which is the wrong. You don't want to use inches. It's usually feet for all my undertakers out there, for all my grave diggers. 6 feet is the key. So when my lovely nana and granddad went into, died, and we had to sell the house, it came time for me and my dad to go dig up the rabbit. It was like a mob movie. We're there like coughing into fucking napkins at like 12 o'clock at night, so no one sees us pulling the fucking rabbit out the soil. And we got it out the bag, and it's weird when you're like, oh, give it a proper burial. We love that thing. And then when you see it through a bag, bones and everything, you're like, throw that fucking thing in the bin. Get it out of my sight. I'm about to throw up. Yeah, man. So we got away with a hit. The FBI didn't get us. Christopher, you fucking digger, you bury the fucking guy. I know people like you want to get caught. I draw up floor plans for a living, right? And that's basically a bird's eye view of a house. So I do them for people that want to sell the house. It helps market it, right? There was something going wrong with the software, all right? And it was lagging. It just wasn't working properly. So I had to get on the old ones and twos and take it up with a big cheese. So I rang these fucking guys up, right? And it sounds like a real hodgepodge operation. You can hear people in the background, eating pasta and not really doing any work. So when you ring them up, I've had problems before. They make you download a remote team viewer app that they have control over your computer. And it's a real sexual program. And it's very worrying as well because I don't have anything crazy on my computer. I probably do if you go to church every Sunday and you don't eat meat. But for the vast majority of the population, I keep things pretty halal. That's the third time I've said that, okay? So I'm going to keep saying it as well now. Even the most slightest embarrassing thing, I do this every Thursday. All the shit related to this I'm embarrassed about on my computer, okay? Nobody gets full access to the rig, except if there's a serious technological problem. And then we might let some Indian guys have a little look round. And that's what I did. I've got to sit here, right, while I'm on hold on the phone and watch them use my mouse and travel around my computer like it's a playground. All right. And I'm just sat there like really, really freaking out and scared, and every time the mouse shakes when they go past something related to the show, I'm thinking, oh God, they are pissing themselves. Like, oh, tremolo nice. Oh, oi, Barry, come and have a look at this. Yeah, so I'm just like sat there like fucking hell. And when they ring me up, they're gonna take the piss out of me. And I've had to do this before with them, and disaster was narrowly avoided that time when they were looking through my documents and the Word documents I write stuff down on. I titled it "Calling My New Son Void," which is a weird thing to call your son, and if you're an Indian man, probably an alarming thing at that. But these two moochers, right? They think the Dora Explorer flying the way through these programs on my computer, but the situation is more like the Goonies. All right, basically, they're gonna come across a retard that I've got chained to a chair at some point. All right, and I'm gonna have the whole world come crashing down on me. We've got to stop making Indians the face of tech support because it's making people get crazy. And I find myself slipping down this path. Right? I'm thinking, listen, just make it a white guy, someone that I can scream at and not feel bad. Or make it something like, Mr. Paperclip on Word. Let's have the support an AI, Mr. Paperclip, that no one will feel bad if we throw him off a bridge every now and again. I'd beat the shit out of that guy and I wouldn't even feel sorry about it. After all this rummaging through all my shit, they were like, okay, it's not a problem on our end. It's your fault. You've done something. So I think we're all right here. Everything is working. Everything is working on our end. So we're just going to leave it with you. Is it fuck my problem? All right. I'm not one of these old people. You get to send you 100 quid's worth for Xbox Live points. All right. You can't just fool me like that, young man. Also, as well, all these Indian people, right, that are scamming all these old idiots. What are they doing with all these Xbox Live gamer points that they get off them? What are they buying? They must be really kitted out on all the games. or they must know something we don't know. I mean, is the dollar that bad that when the nukes go off, we're all going to be like looking at Rajesh's £6 million Xbox Live gamer tag, and he's going to be the king.